If you're seeing this, then this is your new moon in Aries, solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse, whatever. Messages. Welcome. My name is Lara, and we've got a few oracle decks, some tarot cards. We've got some astrology to talk about, and we're gonna see what kind of messages we have for us under this new moon. This new moon is the first new moon of the astrological new year. So fresh new energy. New moons are already fresh beginnings. And this one is the beginning of the fresh beginnings. Okay. Also, we are working with eclipse portal and cycle and season. It can be a lot to keep up with. Where we are underneath this energy, which is happening on March 29th, 2025. So if you're finding this video and it's on or around that time, this is the energy we're all working with, we're all swimming in. If you're not finding this around that time, if it's some other time for you, that's also okay too, because these messages were meant to find you exactly when they were meant to find you. So you never know. Maybe these messages need to find you twice. That can happen. But yeah, you know what's right for you. So listen to your inner voice, guidance, intuition, what have you. Time is not linear. So it doesn't really matter when you're getting these messages. You can trust that they're meant for you. And also, this is a general reading, so you'll know what is for you versus something that may be for somebody else, okay? You'll know. And if it doesn't resonate, you don't have to take it with you. Don't worry about that. We're talking about the collective energies, patterns, themes that we're all dealing with at this particular moment in time. So it's typically less specific. But you'll know more than I do. I'm just reading the cards. I'm just reading the cards. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm looking at. So, so this is a interactive process when you do this with me. Okay. So, yeah, so welcome. If you've been here before, if you've never been here before, either way, welcome. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the astrology before we really dive in. And, yeah, give me 1 second. A dramatic pause for the sake of privacy. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about the astrology of this new moon. So the new moon, this is happening in the sign of Aries, which means that the sun and the moon are both in Aries at this particular moment. And yeah, there's a lot to this. So as this is the end of the eclipse portal that we had with the lunar eclipse, the blood moon eclipse a couple weeks ago, the full moon in Libra. And this is the tail end of that, okay? That little piece there. It's been an interesting couple weeks, hasn't it? Has been for me. And also where we are as far as like the cycle, we're completing now because we have the Aries Libra cycle here. We're completing that same Aries Libra from the eclipses that happened 2 years ago in 2023. So if you think back on specifically like relationships, because Venus is in retrograde as well. So a lot of like relationship stuff is up for review, but also probably like a lot of career, money, like, you know, sensuality, all of that, I think for me has been up. And that's kind of like everything that Venus is dealing with anyway. So already in retrospective of that. But this particular moon is highlighting those themes that would have started 2 years ago. So we're sort of like graduating from this like lesson cycle, I guess you could say. And at the end of this, where we are now, 2 years later, is this like road opening. So this is hugely potent energy. Really, the first few months of the year, that was just like, you know, that was a test run, okay? Because this is like, this is where the real start happens, astrologically speaking. So, and Aries also, as you know, that is the first sign of the zodiac. So Aries is very independent, whereas Libra is very focused on relationship dynamics. What this has probably asked you is to be more of your authentic self and showing up more as your authentic self in your relationships. Finding those relationships that nurture your authenticity versus maybe past relationships that you've since probably let go of over the last 2 years, maybe, where you just feel like you're not really able to be yourself. So that could be something that's being highlighted at this time, but it is at the end of that cycle. So this, yeah, I think from what I understand, we can expect a lot of like road opening, that could bring in new opportunity, new relationship, whatever that looks like. And maybe in whatever ways that you've really felt held back within your relationships, potentially that is gonna blow wide open. So I guess we're gonna see. I'm really kind of getting this sense of like a horse race and like being off to the races, you know, like when those gates open and they're all just like out of the gates. That's sort of what's coming to mind right now. But so a lot of really big energy. Aries is also very fiery. This is Mars energy. And so it's all action oriented. It is, you know, taking control. It's going out there. But as the first sign, it can also be impatient. It can, you know, be a little headstrong and in going out and rushing out to do the things. So as far as like long-term planning, you're going to want to be careful not to act too quickly on that kind of stuff. But because Aries is like, go for it, you know, doesn't really have a lot of experience necessarily, but is going to go out and do it anyways, going to figure it out. And often Aries energy is this trailblazing energy. Aries is the pioneer of the zodiac. Aries is the one that is paving the way for others to come behind them. So that's kind of the energy that we're dealing with. And, yeah, it's big energies. I don't know. How are you feeling? I don't even know what's going on anymore. I mean, I do. Actually, I do. And I think one of the things that this has been showing me is, you know, there's also this... there's been this like lack of trust in self. And so when I have some sort of idea, there's a lot of like, well, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And I spend a lot of time going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You know, I mean, I am a person who's known for like going out and getting what I want. So you'd be surprised to know that before I take a big risk, I actually am like really grappling with that as I go. But I think some of that too, what's come up is, you know, the ways in which we're learning to listen to our intuition, or we already know how to listen to our intuition. A friend of mine posted, I feel like it was Instagram, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Something that said, you know, when you feel the feeling and you get the sense, you know, a lot of times the intuition is the sign you're looking for, but you'll get that intuitive feeling and then you'll be looking outside of yourself for the validation that this is the way that you're meant to go. So yeah, for me, there's an element of like going with that intuition, right? Like inherently, you know the way, even if the way that you go runs you into a wall at first, you reroute and you go a different direction. And that's okay. That's okay, because that is actually part of the plan all along. You're supposed to be running into those walls. That's where I'm at. I just saw 1111. That's where I'm at. So anyway, I don't know if you relate to that, but let's go ahead and just jump right in to see what kind of messages we get. We've got our Dragon Path Oracle. We have our Light Seers Tarot, and we also have the Moon Deck Oracle. So let's start with our Dragon Path here, and let's see what dragon energy is going to come through for us underneath this new moon. Dragon energy, sort of like snaky energy, like shedding layers, stepping into newness. So let's see. Also, new moon is when the moon appears dark. So, you know, who's helping us through and lighting up for us under this new moon energy. Okay, here we go. Okay, who is here for us under this new moon in Aries? Who is, ooh, there we go. Ooh, looks like there's two, actually. Interesting. Okay, I feel like I've seen him before, and I have never seen her. Okay, so this is really fascinating. We have Orbron, which is like very Aries. Look at the lightning with the red sun, moon. I don't know, whatever. That is bad, right? Very cool. Holding on to, what are you holding on to? Some kind of rope or something? It's not connected to anything at the bottom there. Interesting. We'll read from the book, but then our other one is Actramus. Your guess is as good as mine on that one, but this one's so pretty. Sort of like greeny yellow, springtime kind of a vibe there. Okay, I literally have never seen that one before. So, and I don't see the other one very often. So let's see what we have here. That is XIV. Orbron is the one who flew out first. So we're going to start there. If Orbron has turned up today, it is to reassure you that you can achieve what is required. Zanga. Okay. If you didn't know, now you know. You may have to dig deep within yourself and maybe do this for the long haul. Don't I know it? But you can and will succeed. This striking red dragon's connection is firmly grounded and in effect connects to our base chakra, which is the root chakra. He therefore relates to everything that makes up our physical lives and the world we create for ourselves. Oberon's message is a simple one. Nothing in this world you call home is insurmountable. Nothing is too big to deal with. Get your feet back on the ground and anchor yourself into your physical reality. Having your head in the clouds will not give you the answers you desire or require. Connect to your base chakra and reconnect to your physical body. Get out of your head and into your body. Okay, so movement. And just like movement. Root chakra energy. Sounds like you need to be shaking some ankles. All right, that's that. So, but like down there. Okay. Could be for some of you. All right. But that is sort of that like instinctive, like movement going. The root chakra is also red in color. Release your ever tumbling and swirling thoughts. If you've been lost in your head and anxiety, oh, are you trying to tell me it's time to start exercise? It's for real time. Okay, whatever, great. I got my message, okay. When you are more grounded in this way, you will be better placed to deal with the matters that are demanding your attention. You will then be able to handle them fully and with ease, freeing you to move forward. Your time is best spent tackling whatever is demanding your time. Your time is best spent tackling whatever is demanding your time. Deal with it totally, and then you will be in a position to move forward. Although Oberon is a tough-talking dragon, sometimes you need to hear it as it is. He is a great ally when you need to get a job done and deal with the here and now. Oberon finishes his message with, seek the path of least resistance. The more you tussle with a problem, the tighter the noose becomes, eventually strangling the situation. What was I just talking about? There's his rope. You know, not strangling anything. So I think he's coming in here to help you with this. The detangler, okay? It may be a little shocking with the lightning here. It is eclipse. Eclipse energy is volatile, all right? So also because of that, like, make sure to be taking care of yourself. Basic things. Did you drink water? Did you get enough rest? Have you eaten? When was the last time you showered? Basic stuff. And then our next one, what a treat. We have Ectramus. Ectramus, I feel like that's, I don't know. Ectramus connects with the Arcturian civilization, the peacekeepers of the galaxies. Aliens. Okay. This beautiful dragon announced himself by stating, I am the dragon Ectramus of the 7th Golden Ray dimension. I am kin to the Atlantean dragons who were 7th dimensional but chose to work with the 5th dimensional beings of Atlantis and oversee and raise the raising of their vibration to the 7th dimension. Okay. If Ectramus has joined your reading today, heed his words. The time has come for you to begin integrating with 7th dimensional golden ray energy and initiate the process of anchoring its frequency into your being. Okay. This will enable you to shift the old layers of 3D energy and release it naturally. It heralds the next phase of incredible journey. Holding a clear vibration allows us to view the world without judgment, be at ease with ourselves, and let go of negativity. By accepting Ectramus into your life, you are acknowledging that you are ready to shift old DNA coding and integrate the higher vibrations into your life. So what's happening here? Okay. This is grounding in that physical reality and bringing that higher vibration into your physical world. No wonder I'm so tired. Okay. That's what I'm getting here. Yeah. Because a lot of times too, as we are working on up leveling, it is important to stay grounded, because that is where you're seeing the manifestation coming through. So there's also that happening. Again, with this very shocking, sort of abrupt rate, I think something is really gonna blow open here under this energy that you will be able to fully just pull it right down. This could maybe even be like some sort of insight or download that happens under this energy, or this could be, you know, within your manifestation work, whatever it is you're working on, if you're working on things. So that's pretty big news. Okay. So that's why it's important to also note that underneath the deck there is confidence. Okay. This guy is sort of self-explanatory. Yeah, these shifts, these changes, this, however abrupt it may be, this is happening for a reason. You're shifting into this new. So a lot of it is going to require confidence, like unshakable confidence. Okay, let's grab our tarot and see. Thank you so much for coming to see us. What message specifically? I think I'm sort of picking up on what we're talking about, but what specifically are we dealing with? What do we have to expect under this new moon in Aries energy? Could I please have 3 cards? 1, 2, thank you, and 2, thank you. There, okay. Okay, that's 4. Okay, great. Let's take a look and see what we've got. Okay. Let's just run with it. Let's see how we do. All right. We're going to start at the bottom of the deck. I'm laughing because what we have at the bottom of the deck is the sun, and the sun is in reverse. I don't think we feel very confident at the moment. Which is probably why this guy came out to be like, hey, just be confident. Don't you hate when people say that? What do you mean? Just be confident. Like, you should just be confident. Like, you're like all of the things, and like, you should just be confident. I'm like, yeah, I'll just be confident then, because I know what that means. I know what that feels like. But yes, so it looks like, you know, I think we're struggling with that confidence. So there is some added support in that way. I think that's coming through. I think the struggle with the confidence, the sun card being confidence, happiness, like innocence, this is your solar plexus chakra. And in the reverse position, it's not necessarily a negative card, but it is, you know, less confident, less sure of yourself, perhaps, as you're moving through whatever it is you're moving through. And whatever it is you're moving through seems like you're having a hard time shifting, which is interesting because we had this, I think we had this one last week, upright, being divinely guided into new waters, okay? Leaving an old painful situation and moving forward, leaving behind with the swords. This is all like our mind, our thoughts, communication, leaving behind like those old thought patterns, communications. In the reverse position, there's resistance here subconsciously. Okay. Because I think inherently we know this is a fundamental shift. This, again, we've got the lightning here, the Tower card. I mean, it's really difficult to accept change in general. So we're talking about, you know, where this can bring breakthroughs and enlightenments. This is sort of like a refusal to let the natural breakdown happen, or like a resistance in the natural break, which is part of the natural order. Like, the building is not stable. This is an act of divine intervention, but you are resisting what needs to be cleared. And that's all a couple weeks ago. I almost said years. Also a couple years ago, because we're talking about the eclipses. I don't think that was an accident that I slipped on that. You know, you're clinging to something that needs to break down, that needs to go. You're having a really difficult time moving away from that. Maybe it's even just like more of like a mental attachment to it, but that is what's creating these feelings of insecurity. That's coming up from the subconscious right now in our shadow cards. Okay. So, what does that mean as far as, and listen, like, change is big and scary, especially with like this, oh wait, what was I going to say? Oh, right. Because with the full moon eclipse, what I was going to say with the Tower card, okay, it's likely that you realize like somebody was all words and like no action coming through. But you know, you're resisting letting go of whatever relationship this is, or whatever this, this could have been information that came in, because knights tend to be the messenger, but maybe it was an actual person or relationship, romantic or otherwise. But somebody who was capable of like saying all of the right things, but never following through. And that is really what's blocking you from fully trusting and starting fresh and new with the Fool. As far as what that's going to show up as in your world, the Eight of Pentacles is here. This is a card of mastery, craftsmanship. This is that practice makes perfect. So whatever it is, whatever skill you have, you're hard at work in that practice. This could be even like self-improvement, self-development here. But it's really important to know you know, I think because you have the Four of Swords in reverse. So I feel like there's this real resistance to just resting and letting the integration process happen. Like, you've acquired the knowledge and you've started like practicing and practicing and practicing, but it's almost as if there's this cycle of like just doing, and you're not actually stopping to let yourself rest and integrate whatever it is that you're working on for yourself, which is a lot of what we talked about with our 2 dragons here. And with because I really feel strongly that our last 2 here are meant to be together, as opposed to like 2 separate, like they're here as a pair. We have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Devil in reverse. So what does that mean? The 6 of Pentacles this is some imbalance with, you know, maybe over the last 2 years, there's been imbalance in, you know, these relationships where, you know, either you're taking on too much or someone else is not pulling their weight. Usually it's like both at the same time. And with the Devil in reverse, I think what's really being illuminated here is, particularly for any relationship dynamic, you know, you're really seeing where you may be feeling that you're being taken advantage of. Or maybe you'll notice where you're taking advantage of other people, other relationships, situations. Either way, it's recognizing like your part in this as like, this is not something that's as in control of you as you believe it to be. This could potentially even be, I'm like hearing like your relationship with money, which would be very Venus retrograde, I feel like. That's pretty specific. But I think, you know, you've been working really hard, maybe even sacrificing that rest time, okay? And really sort of, you know, reflecting on where that's not working, that these are the types of dynamics that are making you feel less than your natural radiating self. Or those opportunities that you really thought were going to take you somewhere that ended up not, that actually ended up taking more out of you. You're stepping out of that. That's falling away. And as far as eclipses go, it's whether or not you want it to. So you can cling all you want. It's creating more discomfort for you. But, you know, part of that too is like you're in your head about it when you need to be grounding and giving yourself space to integrate. Okay. Is that making sense? Let's see if we're on the right track here. We've got our moon deck oracle. What moon deck, there it is. do we have, one second. Okay, great. Love and intimacy flow into my life effortlessly. So do you see how this is like another figure embracing this person here? Do you see the hands kind of? Right? It took me a long time to notice that, actually. This for me is really like trusting the process, trusting that you're supported. I think maybe some of that sparkle that's, you know, maybe felt lost is because you are, right? You're maybe trying to force things that are not meant to continue on or not meant to happen, but if this is about a relationship for you, it's trusting that that love and that intimacy is flowing. But this can be also just like the love and intimacy, like in your day-to-day life. The universe, the intimate relationship that you have with the universe. You are the universe. Let's see what the book says. I just heard in my head, chill. So there's that. Like, just chill. Okay. Intimacy. Love and intimacy flow into my life effortlessly. Every relationship is a lesson in love, okay? Challenging us to go deeper into the infinite realm of intimacy. Connection is in our nature and vital for our health. Above any outside relationship, however, when we drop into a loving romance with ourselves, we heal the blocks to true intimacy and can share more deeply with another. Everyone has gone through something that has changed them in some way. Barriers to love and intimacy may be rooted in distant or recent experiences. Wherever you are on this path, this card asks you to remain open. Trust that you can forge rich, loving connections with others. Intimacy comes in many forms. Adjust your perspective. Walk as a loved person. Embrace your most intimate romance, the one you have with yourself. Lean into your own heart and feel the warmth embers of your love. So yeah, that kind of makes sense too, as far as the Six of Pentacles. Like maybe you have felt dependent on certain people, situations, opportunities. And this moon is like, you never needed it in the first place. Even if it was useful, even if you are like, oh, this really helped me gain the experience. I have the practice, right? The practical application, but it's still like taking so much out of you. So the reminder here, despite these feelings of not being confident and being in your head about where you're moving into, the back and forth. Are you sure? Let me just clarify that. Can I have like one more card to clarify? I don't know what you mean. Can I have one more? And then next thing you know, you have 20 cards in front of you. Just me? Okay. Yeah, this is, I mean, going back to this relationship with self and like maybe even higher self, because we're talking with the dragons, right? We have grounding into the physical reality and, but bringing that open, you know, that higher dimension into your physical world, integrating that and doing that in a way that is through your relationship with yourself. That's the most important relationship. Are you romancing yourself at all? Because that's really where you should start. And then what's the ritual? The ritual is a rose blessing. dried or fresh roses. They're like, you could do a bath, a rose bath. So, you know, rose bath, that's like very Venus, right? Lots of love. Yeah. Or maybe not even a rose bath, like a regular bath, or whatever makes you feel loved, whatever makes you feel beautiful. You know, so there you have it. Get out of your head and into your body and love yourself, and you're integrating this higher mind into your physical reality. But you've really got to let go of all that stuff, the way that you've been like hammering yourself through whatever you've been going through. I think this is really like talking about the last 2 years. Like, just chill. Go shake some ass, right? Chill. Get some rest. Love yourself, okay? Light a candle and, like, I don't know, savor some chocolates. I don't know what you do. But go do it, okay? So, did that make sense? You got to let me know. And, I mean, I think it's making sense for me. So, yeah, here we go. Can she take her own advice here on the table? We'll see. We'll see. And you're going to have to let me know how it goes. Happy new moon to you. I'm right there with you. We're walking through this portal together. Let's get it popping. Let's get it going. Here we go. Yeah. So, with that, I will see you on the other side.